Hello everyone, Father Jared coming to you. And as I mentioned, in my bulletin article this past weekend, and as I've been mentioning for a while, is that marriage preparation within our family parishes has been a bit of a kind of not struggle, but something that's been difficult to figure out because basically we're doing it three different ways because St. Michael, St. Peter, and Paul are been doing it a way for a long time. Holy Angels, we've been doing it a certain way. At Sacred Heart, we've been doing it a certain way. And so in the midst of that, and just this recognition that creates a lot of inconsistency for the priests, for the staffs, and just for everyone involved. And so trying to come to a more consistent level of marriage preparation, of how weddings go and all that jazz. And so as we've been working through that, we've had a series of discussions as staff and, other people who are involved in marriage preparation as well. And we have decided to go with a model known as Witness to Love. So the Witness to Love model is based on this idea of really accompaniment, attachment theory, and this idea that ultimately, instead of just making marriage preparation a series of hoops to jump through to make sure that, complete this inventory, meet with these people to make sure that, you how to handle all this kind of stuff, and then, kind of go to this marriage preparation retreat, to kind of get your formation, talk to the priest who will help you plan the Mass, get to know you a little bit so that way you can mention those details in a wedding homily. And really what Witness to Love noted is that we're missing a huge opportunity in marriage preparation how's that? What's the opportunity that we're missing? Well, it took me 9 years to be prepared for the priesthood. And, like for a permanent deacon, they have to go through at least, 5 years of preparation in order to, come to the completion of the diaconate. And so really for the other sacraments of vocation, the other side of the sacraments of vocation, there's this big, long process of preparation with the idea that somehow that process is supposed to help you to engage with, one, the Lord, first and foremost, so to help you connect on a very personal, spiritual level with the Lord. Two, making sure you're properly instructed to know what you're actually doing. So how do you say Mass? How do you, what are the laws of the church regarding, marriage or, administration and all those kind of things, and who do you have to consult for this or that and the other? And so there's a lot involved with it. In the same way, I think for marriage preparation, the opportunity being missed is that we are preparing them perhaps in many, many practical ways, do you know how to communicate? Which again, it's included in this model, so I'm not saying it's not. But we kind of focus mostly on, I think, communication and, kind of the inventory, are they actually compatible? And again, those things are very, very important. But what I think is missed is that we don't really try to connect them with the Lord all that well, and we don't try to connect them also with their parish. So who's going to support them throughout this process? Because one of the big things within even, preparation for the priesthood and even diaconate is that there's meant to be this brotherhood between priests, between deacons. And in the same way, I think married couples that, while obviously they probably have their parents to rely upon, that is, that's not always necessarily it's good to have a community that takes a village, right? And so with Witness to Love, the idea is that the couple, instead of just simply having somebody assigned to them, they instead look around for, there's basically, I think, 4 things. So I might not list all 4 of them now, but first thing is the couple that they choose as a mentor couple in this process are practicing Catholics. So that's number 1. So that means they go to Mass every single Sunday and Holy Day of Obligation. Number 2 is that, that this couple has been married for at least 5 years. Number 3, this couple has a marriage that the engaged couple admires. And that's the most important one, actually, that they admire. And number 4, it can't be their parents. So it can't be either, the bride's parents or the groom's parents. It has to be somebody else's marriage that they admire. And so by basically observing others, they also call out another couple to set the example. And I think what a lot of mentor couples experience with their children, you chose us? Why? Because oftentimes we don't see ourselves as admirable, but yet somebody sees something in it that even sometimes that mentor couple doesn't see. And so really it becomes an opportunity to not just form the engaged couple, but also the mentor couple. And they walk through, a series of there's a workbook, and then there's also videos kind of attached to different times that the mentor and the engaged couple meet. They meet first with the marriage prep director, and who kind of helps to explain, the priest and the marriage prep director both help to explain the process, how Witness to Love will work, and kind of what they're supposed to do throughout this process. And so what this does is it allows the mentor couple and the engaged couple to begin to develop a rapport. So they talk more about the virtues instead of, again, just going over an inventory. They instead have a conversation about, like, what's it like? What's going on? And, like, what are the virtues that we need to grow in? Like, how do you deal with the difficulties of married life? And how, to the mentor couple, like, how have you done it over all these years together? And then then another thing that this allows is it maximizes the priest's time. So the director of marriage preparation meets with the couple and the engaged couple, and the mentor couple helps to guide them through all of the paperwork and make sure that touches base with them to make sure that they're getting through the entire process. So all that paperwork, the administrative side of things, is really taken care of by somebody else. And the priest has 2 meetings with them. And the first meeting is to get to know the couple, to kind of introduce them to the marriage prep, to the Witness to Love model, and to kind of help walk them through what it's going to look like, and really gets to know them in a deeper way instead of just like being like, okay, like, here's all these facts. We try to actually get to know them. So that's like the first meeting. The second meeting is with the engaged couple and the mentor couple. And in this meeting, what is to happen is basically the mentor couple and the engaged couple talk about what their experience has been. What they've discussed, what have they learned, both for the engaged and mentor couple, and then they also pose questions to the priest, and the priest then also has a series of questions that he can ask the mentor couple. So it can be like an interview to where he asks them, like, different questions about, like, what's been the most difficult time in your marriage? Tell us about that. Or what was the best part of your wedding day? Or what has been, like one of the things, graces you did not expect for marriage. And so talking about those different things, so it was a way of, like, kind of interviewing the mentor couple to help not only teach the engaged couple, but also, like, the priest, like, oh, that's kind of cool. I never would have thought of that. And so there's this opportunity also then for the priest to share his wisdom. Like, Father, I don't really get the church's teaching on X, Y, Z. And then the priest has the opportunity to instruct not just the engaged couple, but also the mentor couple. So it's like instead of just, getting to evangelize 2 people, catechize 2 people, we get to evangelize 4 people. So, that the priest time is totally maximized. He gets to know not only just 1 couple in the parish again, but 2 couples in the parish, and that's just such a great gift. And so throughout this process, and does it work? I mean, it seems to work. From the Diocese of New Orleans, kind of the one who kicked this off, and the Verreys, the couple that started this on the Witness to Love model, have seen great success. And in fact, they kind of discovered, I think after 5 years, they went back, or after a while doing it, they went back to all the couples that had gone through this program, and that, and none of them had been divorced. This marriage prep process had a much higher rate of success in helping to prepare the couple, because also the mentor couple is not just meant to help them through the time of preparation, but the idea is also that this gives the engaged couple somebody that they can rely upon after marriage. So like 3 years in, like, they can call and be like, we're really, really struggling, like, help, can you be there for us? So it gives them another friend gives them a couple to be friends with that's not their parents, that has much more experience to them, that they can turn to and rely upon for aid and assistance throughout their marriage together. So, it's not just a kind of like wash your hands of you after you get married. It's, the idea is this couple, that mentor couple, becomes truly friends with them. And then I think that's also helps us to get in the mindset of sharing our faith, right? So the mentor couple has to talk about how the Lord has worked in their marriage, how their marriage is working. That requires them to be vulnerable to testify to how God has worked in their lives. And what that really does, again, allow, is that gives us the opportunity to open up and share, not just with that engaged couple, but hopefully that helps both the engaged couple and the mentor couple to share their faith, to share their lives with others around them, to develop real friendships that actually draw people into relationship with the church, not just as, a mass that we like or we don't like, but instead with people that we know, we love, and we're friends with. And that's really the idea behind all of it. Is the idea behind this is friendship, accompaniment, walking with each other towards heaven. That's ultimately the goal. And that's what the goal of Witness to Love is. And we'll get more in details as this goes along, but be warned, if you are a couple that has been married for 5 years, sitting in our pews, you may be tapped, and I really, really want you to buy into this and to accept that invitation by an engaged couple who may approach you. So this will not go into effect until January 1st, this coming year. So January 1st, 2023, that's when we kind of like begin that process. So anybody who has begun marriage preparation before that, they are not necessarily going to be doing this. We'll have those conversations with them, but that's just an FYI there. So just note this, and yeah, so I look forward to this opportunity. I hope you're looking forward to it as well. And know my prayers, and please pray for me, pray for all of our priests, and have a blessed week. God bless.